Welcome back to Newsmax. Now, Hillary Clinton's campaign is already plotting their plan of attack against Donald Trump. If he's the one who becomes the Republican nominee, I think Clinton feels pretty confident she's going to be the Democratic nominee. Her strategy is underway. Pro-Clinton super PACs and other groups are going to create the test ads to use against Trump. They already are. That would show him as a misogynist and an enemy of the middle class. The Times writes, to fight Mr. Trump's ability to sway the news cycle, Bill Clinton would not hold back on the stump, and President Obama has told allies he would gleefully portray Trump as incapable of handling the duties of the Oval Office. Let's take a look at her strategy in more detail. There's 5 steps here. She plans to attack Trump's temper and question his ability to run the country. Number 2, portray Trump as bigoted and sexist to turn female voters against him. Number 3, show Trump as a ruthless businessman who's working against the middle class. Number 4, enlist allies like Bill Clinton, pretty good ally to have, and President Obama to respond to Trump's attacks, keeping Hillary out of the fray. And number 5, goad Trump into making more offensive comments so he will alienate more voters.
And for more on this, we want to welcome in our guest for part 2 of our roundtable. Joining us right now, David Goodfriend, former Deputy Staff Secretary to President Bill Clinton, and Brent Budowsky, a writer at The Hill. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us.
Thank you.
David, let's start with you. Do you think the strategy is going to work in any way? Because it kind of seems like something she's already done before, and that everyone's basically been trying to do in some form or another.
Well, this is not somebody I usually quote favorably, but Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has said to his caucus that if Trump is the nominee, they will abandon him and focus on trying to keep the Senate in Republican hands. And that says it all. To me, that says it all. That's the top Republican in the United States Senate basically conceding that in a head-to-head matchup, Hillary Clinton probably will beat Donald Trump. Donald Trump poses huge problems to the Republicans down ticket. The Republicans are trying hard to hold the U.S. Senate majority, and I don't think Mitch McConnell is wrong here. I think he's absolutely right, and his strategy makes sense if you're the Republican in charge of the Senate and you want to keep your majority. So don't take my word for it. Don't take Hillary Clinton's word for it. Listen to the wise words of Mitch McConnell.
Well, I think Mitch McConnell's idea makes sense if it were to happen in a vacuum, but considering everything that's going on this election cycle, the more people like Mitch McConnell try to fight back against Donald Trump, the more support he gets from the everyday voters who are sick of the entire process. But we want to focus more on Hillary Clinton, and I want to bring Brent in to ask him this question. Brent, we talked about the appearances of Bill Clinton on the campaign trail in the past, Barack Obama on the campaign trail. How much do you think Barack Obama would enjoy this role of playing the attack dog to Donald Trump, the Republican nominee?
Oh, I'm sure he would enjoy it a great deal. He tends to like anything that gets him very visible. I'm not sure that's the wisest move for the president to be doing that.
Why not?
Look, there was a new CNN poll that came out today, and it shows that Hillary beats Trump by 8 points. Bernie beats Trump in the CNN poll by 12 points.
Yeah, but those are hypothetical matchups. You know, those things don't really pan out.
Well, when you get a candidate who, by word association, you think of the Ku Klux Klan, Benito Mussolini, bimbos and fat slobs about women, and certain other things, I could filibuster and list them all right now. They have a very big problem. Here you got 2 Democrats tonight, David and I, both quoting Mitch McConnell with approval. Now, man, if I was a Republican, I'd be worried that the 2 of us are quoting Mitch McConnell against the nominee. Most Republicans agree with me, I agree with David, and agree with the CNN poll that Donald Trump poses a mortal danger to the Republican Congress and Republicans at all levels in the election. And moreover, I will add simply, many top Republicans are now beginning to feel a patriotic concern for America, as well as
that's all well and good. That's all well and good, Brent. But again, those are the people who hold elective office. Those are the people who are concerned about winning their next election. But when it comes to the people, as we just talked about in our previous roundtable segment, those are not the people who are going to the polls in record numbers, turning up to vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah, but Hillary and Bernie both beat Trump by huge margins in most polls. That's the problem. When Scotty said in the earlier segment that the Republicans should go with the voice of the people, that's fine. But if they're going to go with the voice of the people, they should go for Bernie, not Trump, and Hillary, not Trump.
Well, some might break that way.
I'm not talking about elected Republican officials only. I'm talking about a large number, almost unanimous, of public opinion polls. These are the voters talking in the polls. And as a Democrat, If they want to go with Trump, make my day, as Clint Eastwood said. I love it.
But we're talking about the polls, David, and let's be honest here, polls have been wrong. Generally, I think pretty much everyone's been wrong when it's come to Donald Trump in the last 6 months. So there is a chance the polls could be wrong.
Absolutely right. And in fact, national polls in a presidential election often are misleading because swing states, a half dozen swing states, 1 million votes in a half dozen swing states can decide the whole election, and often do. So I agree with you that we should not be lulled to sleep by polls here. And in fact, Bill Clinton himself, as reported this morning in the New York Times and the Washington Post, he said, look, Donald Trump is not to be taken lightly. This is not some kind of walk in the park. If Hillary is the nominee and Trump is the Republican nominee, you've got Bill Clinton saying this will be a real fight. What I think about, though, in an election scenario is
15
contrast.
seconds left, David.
Any candidate is up against somebody else. When Hillary is up against Trump, by God, he might actually make her look cute, cuddly, and loving.
Well, good point. All right, we're going to talk about those matchups, hypothetical ones, coming up when Newsmax Now continues. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Pleasure to have you, as always.